Hey, yo, what's up? This Disciple Marcello Currents Rain back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day, anti-Freemason all day. Basically, this video is going to be about it's basically one of my campaigns, which is the the um, the American military is having sex with children too. Yep. So that covers it. What else they got left? The American military is having sex with children. Under the UCMJ program, adults can have sex with 16-year-old girls and boys. Okay? So that means anyone that joins the military can have sex with 16-year-old children. Most people would think because you can only join the military of America at 18, then you wouldn't even think nothing about this. You wouldn't even think nothing about anything underage with this institution because of the fact that you can only join the military at 18 years old. So most people's minds don't even go there, right? And this is a fact because the first thing is you're gonna think 18 is the age to get to join the military. That's the first thing you're gonna think, and you ain't gonna think nothing else. In fact, most civilians are not going to think that the military has its own age of consent. Most most American citizens, you're not going to think that the military has its own age of consent for sex. You ain't going to think that. You're going to think probably nothing, most of you, about the age of consent because most of you do not think about the age of consent from state to state and city to city, from state to state. You don't know that it fluctuates from state to state. Most of you, you don't know that. And you don't even think about it. So you definitely ain't gonna think about the military having the age of consent at 16 years old, which is having sex with children. So this is why it's a fallen world, because no one here in this country can say they're honorable. You know, collectively speaking, no one here is honorable. You know, because at the end of the day, I talk to real men and women. I don't talk to children. This isn't child time. This isn't children time. This isn't bed story time. Okay, this isn't book time. Show and tell time. This is for grown adults. Okay, this is what these videos are intended for. I am a master who speaks to adults, and it's nothing funny for the fact that that's who I speak to because my mastery level, what I look like talking to children. Now someone else can. And Jesus Christ did not forbid the children to come to him. But I am not my master. Okay? I am his servant. And I am not better than my master. My master is better than me. My position is I am a master that talks to the adults. I deal with adults. Now, when human beings are ready to be adults and be masters, then they can come into my vicinity. Make sense? Just like a master of some type of martial arts. Okay? When you're ready to be a master, when you're ready to learn the arts of spiritual warfare, then you come to me. Other than that, I have no need to. It's all vanity to me to interact with people that are not human beings that are not trying to be masters for the most part. Okay. There's only two types of bodies. There's an adult body and a child's body, right? There's only two types. And we have to ask a real man question, a real woman question. Is it right or wrong for adults to have sex with children. Is it right or wrong? Is it right or wrong? Of course you're going to say no. So why in the military do they allow people to have sex with technical children? People that are human beings that are legally children. This go look it up for yourself. It's the UCMJ program. That's an abbreviation, which stands for Uniform Code of Military Justice. Go look up the UCMJ program. Google UCMJ age of consent. UCMJ age of consent, and you'll get the information just from doing that. Okay? And it's going to be 16 years old. That's what the American military, the whole full American military over the full country, all personnel of the military, the ages of consent is 16 for them all. Okay? Listen, this is a can of worms nobody should have opened. You want to talk about these children? You want to talk about this stuff out here? Listen, we gonna do it all the way. What kind of man would I be to sit back and let them do this and let them have child marriage and let them have, and they got the age of consent at 16 in the military now. Even New York got the age of consent at 17. How come the military got the age of consent at 16? Make it make sense. New York State has the age of consent at 17. The American military has it at 16. And they supposed to be leading us by example. They supposed to be showing us disciplines and honor codes and all of this stuff, right? Then Florida got the age of consent at 18, which is right on the money. How come the military don't got it then? And this is their country too. Same country. Shouldn't they be at the top standard? With those who are at the top standard? Now you see what I'm saying. Florida got it at 18. How come the military of America does not have it at 18 like Florida? How come the politicians and lawmakers that put it at 18 for Florida and other states that have it at 18 didn't put a pressure on the military to lead by example by putting the age of consent at 18? Huh? You tell me. So that's how I dismantle all that military stuff you got going on out there. You know how I beat that? The UCMJ program, having sex with children. That's how I beat it. Boom, out. That's how I beat it. That's how I beat all your arrogance, all your talents that you got in the military, that you learned from the military. I beat all of that with one fact. The military has, under the UCMJ program, the age of consent is 16, which means all military personnel has access to children sexually. That's how I beat you right there, buddy. Fair enough? Fair enough? Fair enough? Because it's a big war talking about what people are doing with these children. It's a big war going on. And so I supposed to exclude them out of it, keep them out of it? Now, what kind of man would I be? When they supposed to lead by example, they supposed to be the leadership over your country. What kind of man would I be when they supposed to be the most honorable? To not point out the fact that they have the age of consent at 16, which you know they taking advantage of it. Oh, you don't think nobody's doing it? Man, come on. That's for when they go all around the world and they can have sex with 16-year-old girls and boys. That's part to save themselves some type of honor in the case that some of their personnel gets caught out there with some of these exotic girls and some of these exotic boys from all around the world. So if they get caught up, They at least got it to where they feel like they got it at 16 just in case their men don't have any kind of discipline not to have sex with children. At least we got it covered to 16. You see that? That's what it is. It has less to do with what military would do in the mainland. It has more to do when they go abroad out into the world. Okay? It has more to do with that. Where some of these other places will be having sex with boys and girls, they got to make sure they cover that part too for them. Okay, if another country has it at 16, boom, they're good. Or at 17, obviously they're good. But what I have showed you in the past, and I'm going to continue to interject this into my messages, is there's only two types of bodies, an adult body and a child's body. So we agreed that adults shouldn't have nothing to do with any child, age of child, any age of child. Which makes it an issue, right? Oh, so it doesn't make it an issue if it's an older child. Not that child is okay, but not that child. You can be with this child, but not that child. So you see how you can't really enforce on anything if you're allowing people to have sex with children? How are you going to enforce on anything? How are you going to enforce on anything when you allowing adults to have sex with a type of child, with an age of child? So you're going to say, well, you can't be with that age of child, but you can be with that age of child. But think about the person that's actually with the age of children that you don't agree with. How they going to feel when they find out you are having sex with a type of child in the military? In the military now. What I'm trying to show you, here's the conclusion. You don't have no place to be trying to enforce anything or play any games concerning children. And I don't care who you are. If you are here in this country and you have a brain and you are living here, what's going to happen to you is you're going to be swallowed up in reality. This is what's going to happen because your country is doing everything that you're talking about. I showed you this. You got cops having sex with 14-year-old girls here in New York. You got a police down in Louisiana that made a woman have sex with her own 1-year-old child. Okay? You're doing all the stuff that you are obsessed with. I think they're obsessed with these pedophiles. Well, then I can show you, I can quench your obsession. I can quench your obsession. You got 43 states of child marriage. I think that will quench your thirst of obsession with pedophiles. Don't you think? I think that will quench your obsession with pedophiles. You got 43 states of child marriage. You got the military. They got the age of consent at 16. And the other law is you got the age of consent outside of marriage under 18 in 40 states in America. You see all these laws you got? I think that's enough for you to be quenched as far as your obsession with who's a pedophile and your wandering of these type of individuals. There you go, right there. You've had child marriage since 1929. That should quench your obsession right there. Go back in history. That'll quench your obsession. You've had child marriage since 1929. Okay? Stop the shenanigans. If you're obsessed with me, you're obsessed with me because, first, I think you're a loser. And secondly, because it's good qualities. It ain't nothing bad up here. That's what it is. You ain't obsessing over me because I'm doing something wrong. Or my energy is off or something like that. You're obsessed with good qualities and you're too stupid to see it. You're obsessed with good qualities and you're too stupid to understand that. You don't see nothing in me, buddy. But I see everything in you and your community. And that's where we're going to swallow you up in reality. Karma has a way of doing that, you know. Karma has a way of figuring out all of this stuff. And what I figured out is that you don't know no better. You don't even know your country has child marriage. And here you are running around. See, so guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to be swallowed up in ignorance. Ignorance of your own surrounding. And that goes for secret society. That goes for community. Listen, no one tells you to be ignorant of your surroundings. Who tells you that? God didn't tell you that. The Bible doesn't tell you to be dumb and oblivious to what's going on around you. It changes everything. Knowing that you have child marriage changes everything. Yes, absolutely. And the whole punchline is now that we're in a fallen world. That's what we're in. We're in a fallen world. Which means, and I'm gonna do a video ultimately about this. When you're in a fallen world, guess what that means? There's no more enforcers. There's no more vigilantes. Let's go through the list. In a fallen world, there's no more vigilantes. There's no more real heroes. There's no more legal system. There's no more crimes even. It's anything goes. You're already in the first stages of a fallen world and you don't know no better. The other stages is going to be anarchy, which means a lawless society, a society that doesn't have laws. Literally, they have no laws. You're already on the brink of that because you have no standards of laws. You don't have anything that you stand by definitely. Everything is indefinitely. You don't stand by nothing. I can show you how you lock people up for statutory rape, and then the same age a child is allowed to be in a child marriage here in the same country. I can show you how the age of consent is at 17 in New York, but if you try to have sex with a 17-year-old girl in Florida, you're getting locked up. This is all one system, you know. State to state, but one system. One Supreme Court, one president over all of this. One leader, two leaders over all of this. Governors over all of this, mayors over all of this. And yet, it is not the United States of America. It is not. It is not. It is not. It is not united. Okay? You have one leader over all of this, and he has not united. He and she has not united the one perspective concerning these children. So how can you enforce on anything when you can go down to Florida and get locked up for having sex with a 17-year-old girl, but in New York, you can do it until you get tired of it. You can have as many 17-year-old girls here in New York as you want to. But then you can go to Florida and you even touch a 17-year-old girl, you going to jail. But this is all one system. One president, one vice president. But it's not united. So then how can you enforce on an intelligent person like me when you got the age of consent at 16 in the military? You can't enforce on me. And you're already, listen, this has already started a war, and you're already on the brink because of the standard that you held and you put in the air. That makes everything fall apart. Does it make sense? Okay, let me break it down. You went around enforcing, talking about children, right? Oblivious to the fact that your country is doing this with child marriage and all of that, right? With the age of consent in the military. This is what idiots have done in your country. It's the idiots that have done this. Going around this secret society, going around talking about children, trying to assassinate people's character, playing games with children. What See, what you didn't understand is in the universe, when you set that standard, it melted away everything that you have, because your standard is your standard of living, right? This is what you projected in your society. This is what you united everybody with, right? Then so when we find out that you have child marriage, it melted all your system based on reality, based on what you feel, based on the standard that you set in the community, based on the principles of karma. You melted away your system. That's karma, bro. You cannot project a system that's outside your whole country that you're living in. And that's what, and the police got involved, and they stupid. The other people got involved, and you stupid. And now you're all stupid together. That's the only thing that unites y'all is stupidity. You know the only thing that unites America is morons. Because if I was going to go out here enforcing like you, first thing first is I would have understood what the laws are. I would have understood what I can enforce. So when the time came for enforcing, this is for bounty hunters too. This is for vigilantes and everybody, mercenaries and every type of other little moron from America. This is for all of you. Before I went about enforcing, right? Before I went about enforcing, I would have knew the laws of the land, right? If you know street principles, the next level of elevation when you're more sophisticated in what you do and more professional in what you do is you also know the laws of the land, right? Real criminals know the laws. Real criminals know the laws. So it's no excuse for you just being a thug. Okay, you're a bushwhack thug. Bushwhack thugs, I do not acknowledge. You, as a thug or a criminal, should have known the laws, right? And you didn't. You got 43 states of child marriage. You got child marriage since 1929. You passed new child marriage laws under the Donald Trump administration. That's how relevant it is. And you so-called criminals don't even know this. Now you see how bushwhack you look compared to me? Bushwhack is the word. Bushwhackers. Bushwhackers by definition means unsophisticated people. You're unsophisticated. If you were sophisticated, you would know the laws that you can enforce. You would know the laws that are in the land as a criminal. Criminals know the law. I know certain laws. I know certain, and the more I go through life, if I get locked up, I learn from things that I violated. Like me carrying weapons. Now I can carry a weapon in my hand walking down the street because it's legal. It's nothing they can say to me. I don't have to conceal this. It's a weapon that's legal. Okay? If a certain inch of knife is legal, you can walk down the street with it. And I don't care if they think I'm crazy or not. One thing is going to be understood: you ain't gonna play with me and challenge me. That's the bottom line. I ain't playing no games with anybody. Okay? You need to know the laws. I learned the laws. I learned from the laws the hard way a couple times. I've been locked up, get called a little ticket a couple times from carrying huge blades. Right? And so eventually, if a criminal or a person that doesn't want to violate the law or get locked up is going to come to the conclusion of is I need to know what these laws are. Okay, so You're either a beginner as far as crime or you're unsophisticated. Which one is it? Because you're out here enforcing, but do not know what the whole laws of the land are. This is your lane. I'm talking about your lane. You want to be Batman for kids. You want to be Chuck Norris for kids, but you got child marriage and you can't do it, bro. Listen, you can try to personalize and individualize things and say you still gonna do stuff, right? Let me help you with that. Let me show you what's gonna happen when you do that. Karma is gonna come and say, this whole country is doing this. This, whatever they're talking about with this children stuff, what we see over here, karma's gonna say what we see is that they have children over here in child marriage in 43 states, in the country that they eat from and drink from and defecate in and urinate in. The same country they're defecating and urinating in, which feeds them. They feed off this system called the American government, right? They feed off of that system, right? That same system that feeds you has child marriage. It's no way around it. You can say you're not involved with America, but at the end of the day, the American system is feeding you. So if a system that is feeding you has child marriage, how are you going to go out here and enforce on anything when the system that is feeding you has child marriage? It's feeding you. It's a pedophile country that's feeding you. You know that, right? That's the energy. You can't take it away. You can't say, well, I choose to ignore that. Sorry. This is not child stuff where I can just wish it away. You can't wish this away, buddy. I'm going to close my eyes and it's not there. Sorry, buddy. When you open your eyes, it's still there, buddy. I'm sorry. So if you're so intertwined with this system that has child marriage, once you realize this, right? Ignorance. Don't you know the saying that says, what you don't know can get you killed? What you don't know can get you killed. This fits so perfectly for you and you don't even realize it. What you didn't know killed you. You did not know your country had child marriage, having sex with children since 1929. Child marriage since 1929, almost 100 years now. Well, 2029 will be 100 years. That's only 6 years away. 6 years from now, you will have had child marriage for 100 years. That's very important when you look at it like that. You never stopped having it. Let's understand that. From 1929, you've never stopped having child marriage in America, which means now you're coming on your 100th anniversary. In 6 years, it's gonna be 100 years you've had child marriage here. But yet you're enforcers helping children. This is why it never worked. Now you understand. This is the skeletons that you had in the closet that no one knew about, and this is why nothing ever worked. The criminal system here never worked. When did it work good and smoothly? When did the criminal system work here good and smoothly? When did the legal system in America, when was there a golden age for it? There was never a golden age for the legal system of America, ever. And the reason why is because you was enforcing the whole time on people about children, but yet you had child marriage since 1929. This is why the legal system was cursed. Listen, you can't, it's one thing, let me explain something. It's one thing to contradict yourself in your own individual life, right? It's one thing to do that. Like I always say, human beings will contradict themselves, right? It's one thing to contradict yourself as a human. right? You're going to do that. You're human. I don't let people hold me to standards of perfection. I'm going to contradict myself at one point. You're going to contradict yourself at some point, right? That's just human. That's why I am excellent. Excellent is human perfection. I have achieved excellence because I don't have a hang up with perfection or imperfection. Some of you have a hang up with imperfection, or you have a hang up with trying to be perfect. So, did you hear what I just said? Some of you have a hang up with trying to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. And some of you have a hang up with not being perfect, being imperfect, in being imperfect. You have a problem with it. You can't live with it. You can't live with not being perfect, and you can't live with your imperfections. I can live with both. I have no problem with that. I can live with both. That's what's wrong with your society. You strive for perfection, and it's impossible. And the reason why I'm excellent because I have accepted that I'm human. I have no problem with being human. But when you're in a system, right? When you craft a system, a legal system, it's not, you can't say we're all imperfect. You can't use that. You're insulting my intelligence. You can't say, well, nobody's perfect, so we just got this imperfect law system. It doesn't work like that, bro. You have to have standards of what people can do and not do. And it doesn't take a perfect person to stay away from children. I have no problem with doing it. And like I told you, I am not perfect. I don't care. No one's perfect. No, you may feel that people are, but they have flaws. Okay, if you look closely in real life, they all have flaws. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with people putting flaws in the law system, but then locking up other people for having flaws as well. So in other words, you lock this man up for having this flaw. He likes to have sex with children. But you allow this other man with the same flaw now. You don't lock him up for having that flaw. You lock this other man up, but you let this other guy just do what he wants to do. In a child marriage, that's what I have a problem with. Not imperfection of humans. The problem where your law system see what I'm saying? The problem is with the law system. The problem is with people out here trying to enforce things. You're stupid. You need to hang up your Sherlock Holmes outfit and your Sherlock Holmes hat, bro. You're not Sherlock Holmes. You're not some detective for Law and Order. You're not some detective for Law and Order. Okay? Not when you locking one guy up over here for being with a certain age of child. You're basically insinuating that's a flaw. That's a flaw. That has to be something. He has to be corrected. But this other guy doesn't have to go through a correctional facility. Now you see what the problem is. Because when you listen to me, you may think that I'm pointing out a flaw in humanity. No, I'm pointing out a standard in humanity that you set that you're not living by. I am pointing out a standard and a system that you put in our community that you're not living by. So why set it? Why come out here trying to enforce about kids and y'all having sex with children? Why lock one guy up for statutory rape and then let the other guy have child marriage? That's not a matter of human flaws. That's a matter of not being adequate. You're inadequate in your system. You're an inadequate judger of things. You're an inadequate enforcer of justice. And therefore, in your inadequacy of your system, you don't have the right to enforce on any intelligent person. This is why we're on the brink of anarchy. This information people have underestimated. Now you realize where we're at. Now you realize where we're at. We're at the point where we're not just looking at the actual topic of child marriage. We're looking at the fact that it is a contradiction. Now you see what I'm saying? It is a contradiction that makes the legal system invalid. See, you can't be unintelligent following me. You can't be, man. You can't. This channel is for only intelligent people, because an intelligent person understands exactly what I'm talking about. You don't have a valid legal system when you contradict yourself in the legal system. Not in life. In life, you're going to contradict yourself as a human being. But you cannot contradict yourself in a legal system that everyone looks to for justice. This is a system that everyone looks to. Everybody don't look to me. Everybody don't look to you. We're not standards of justice. We're not people of justice necessarily. You have a system that depends on people's life outside of bars or in bars. And you're throwing people in jail for statutory rape for playing around these kids. But then you got one guy that goes home and locks himself away with the child. You can't listen. That is, folks, an invalid legal system. While you look at it, oh, that's just no, I'm sorry to tell you. An intelligent person now has come. An intelligent person now has come. That is an invalid law system. Ain't no way in the world you can tell me it's valid when one guy gets locked up and the other one doesn't. In the same state, man. In the same state. So, for example, in California, the age of consent is at 18, right? This is going to be the perfect example, what I'm trying to show you. In one system, in one state, the age of consent is at 18. You would think this is great. This is what it should be. This is excellence, human perfection, right? They got the age of consent at 18. Unfortunately, the same state of California passed a law under Donald Trump's administration to have sex with to marry any age of children. So now we got that information. California has this law out of 12 states, right? Keep in mind, 43 states have child marriage outside of these new laws that covers 12 states with new child marriage laws. You can't be slow following me. So in the state of California, you got the age of consent at 18. That's one law. Then they passed another law, still got that law in place. That's a child marriage law. Now you see where the contradiction is already. You got in California, you got the age of consent at 18. But then you got child marriage laws. Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. Make it make sense for us. You got it at 18. But then you got child marriage. That's what we talk about. That allows adults to, this new law that California passed allows adults to have sex with any age of child. The law says no minimum age, at least being down to single digits, 9 and 8 years old, easy. Yet, meanwhile, the age of consent is double that at 18. How can California have, now you got that information, right? So how can California be sound legally When one man gets locked up for statutory rape and having sex with some girl under 18, he goes to jail, right? Because the age of consent is at 18 in California. He goes to jail. But meanwhile, in the same state, another guy can be with a 17-year-old, 16, 15, 14-year-old girl, even down to a 9-year-old girl, being that the new law in California says that you can marry any age of child, no minimum age. It's at least down to 10 to 9 years old. That man can do that. But this other guy in California gets locked up for 17-year-old girl. How can you have a society like that? You can't. It's an invalid system. There is no justice. There is no legal system. Because you're not defining what is right and wrong. You're not defining what is actually correct and incorrect. Because this guy get to have sex with her, this guy doesn't. Then you have no correct. You lock him up for the same age of child. In statutory rape, you lock him up, right? He has sex with a 15-year-old girl. But this guy can marry a 15-year-old girl in California. So what is correct? What is correct then? Because you're saying that this age is, when you lock somebody up for statutory rape, you're saying this age is off limit for adults, right or wrong? You're saying an adult shouldn't be with that age. That's what you're saying, right? That's what the charge is insinuating in essence. You're too old, she's too young. Right or wrong? It's not anything else. It has to do with the age, right? That's it. There's no other areas it has to deal with. Not how the child looks, not what race the child is. It has nothing to do but with he's too old and she's too young. That's all it has to deal with. And he gets locked up for statutory rape. So how can he have child marriage? How can you have child marriage with the same age of child? But you lock this guy up because you defined it as him being too old and him being too young. That's what you defined it as, right? But you made that definition invalid when you let another guy have the same age of child. Now you can't say that age is too young because you letting them do it over here. So how can you say the age is too young when he's in child marriage with the child? How can you say the child is too young for sex when you're allowing it in 43 states? How can you say these children are too young, but you got child marriage in 43 states? How can you insinuate that the child is too young when you got new laws passed under the Donald Trump administration that allows adults to marry children at no minimum age? New child marriage laws passed under Donald Trump administration. How can you say the children are too young when you're allowing it to happen? I've contacted CPS, Child Protective Services. Oh yeah, I'm on my ball. Oh yeah, that's what I should have been done this. That's why I knew the Lord has been leading me. Because the things that I'm doing is in his timing. And I me being human, I just don't think about some things sometimes. Just like the rest of us. And God led it to me I emailed CPS. I let them know about 43 states of child marriage in America. Child marriage laws passed under Donald Trump administration. That's right. That's absolutely right. You want to play this game? Then we're going to take it all the way up. We're going to take it all the way up to beyond these chicken-eating streets. And we're going to talk to the people that care. We're going to talk to the people that's out here really enforcing things. We're going to talk to them. We're going to talk to CPS then. And we're going to see how they feel about you having child marriage. But then you trying to enforce over here on statutory rape. Same age of child you letting be in a child marriage. Listen, bro, like I said, have a seat. Like I said. You know what I mean? When we out here, we don't want to see you playing any games with your children like we don't know no better. Not at all. Not at all. I don't want to see one person doing it. That's when the war is over. When I don't see one person playing a game without being killed. Listen, man, it ain't no time to be playing no goofy games, bro. If you're not a master, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm telling you. You at the wrong place at the wrong time, because I ain't sparing nobody. They wasn't sparing you. They wasn't sparing you. They were trying to throw the book at you, the book that they thought they had. The system that they thought they had, they can enforce. Now you see you can't enforce nothing. That's what I'm saying. This is a falling world. This country is a falling country because of just those two laws right there. Child marriage and statutory rape. Those two laws. Listen to me closely. Like I said, you can't be slow following me. Statutory rape charges versus child marriage makes the American legal system invalid. Just those two laws. I don't got to talk about nothing else. The fact that you have statutory rape charges where it means an adult is with a child, in essence. But yet you have child marriage where it's the same thing in essence. An adult with a child. That's a contradiction that you can't have in one legal system. That's an invalid legal system because there is no correct. And there is no definition of correct. There is no definition of correct. So how can you correct me? How can you put me in a correctional facility? When you don't even have a definition of correct. How can you put me in a correctional facility, so to speak, but you don't have a definition of correct? Make it make sense, bruh. Make it make sense. This is why you don't play with prophets, man. We come out like lions and devour and shred people. I come out like a hungry lion and shred you to pieces, bro. When you watch the National Geographic show, most of those lions are not well fed, are they? It's not a big full lion running around trying to eat. The lion is hungry and ain't playing no games. That's why he's running that's why he's aggressive. He's hungry. She's hungry. Playing with a hungry lion in the wild is detrimental. It's detrimental. You fool. You sitting around eating Papa John's and going to eating Burger King all at one time. Just disgusting. You're disgustingly fool playing with fully grown hungry lions. And that's why you can't win. I'll smash on anybody, man. You understand me? Who you want to bring? I already covered the military. The military got the age of consent at 16. That's child vagina. There's only two types of vagina. An adult vagina and a child vagina. There's only two types of vagina in the world. Adult vaginas and child vaginas. Should we be having sex with child vaginas? Yes or no? I don't care what age. I ain't asked you what age. Because obviously your country cannot agree on a certain age. So let's go on a certain principle. Should an adult have sex with a child vagina? Yes or no? Yes or no? So then why you got 43 states of child marriage then? Now you see what I'm saying. Why you got the age of consent at 17 in New York? That's a child vagina. Yeah, the prophet come to show you where you're slipping. You didn't look at it this way, did you? That's why you can't, that's why playing a game of integrity with a prophet is detrimental to you. A worldly person, drunk in sin, playing with a prophet that's totally clear-headed is suicide. This is our stuff. This is our integrity and character is what Christians are all about. For you to challenge me on that, being spiritual at the same time, the Holy Ghost leading me to show you things, God leading me to show you things. Why would it's suicide for a worldly, sinful country of America to go up against a prophet? Because all your psychological games, what that's going to mean? What does it mean at the end of the day? Nothing. It means nothing. You know it means something to real men and women? How you lock one guy up for statutory rape, but another guy can be with the same age of child in a child marriage in the same state. They can live in the same neighborhood. He's going to jail from his house. The other guy has a child in his house in the same neighborhood. Nah, bro, listen. Who you playing with? I made it perfectly clear right there. Two guys living in the same neighborhood. One comes out of his house in handcuffs. The girl got a blanket wrapped around her. She's getting put in another car. Right down the block, another guy is looking out the window with his child butt naked in the house, in a child marriage. Him and her butt naked, looking out the window. Man, come on. Listen, that's confusion. That's chaos. That's not order. That's no type of order, bro. And listen, ain't nobody here stupid. Ain't no way in the world you're going to sit up and have statutory rape charges, but have child marriage laws. Listen, you can feed them morons that. You can feed them cattle that foolishness. These cattle out here, you can't feed me that foolishness, bro. And I don't care what you think is on my mind. What you see me doing? What do you see me doing? What do you see me doing? I'm with a fully grown woman that's working while half of y'all are broke. My woman's working. My woman bought me my phone that I have. My woman bought me a fan for my hot apartment. I'm showing you my companion who I have sex with. She bought me this phone. That's why I'm on this phone with you right now. That's clear enough for you. Children don't buy phones. Children don't have money to buy $100 phones. Children don't have money to buy $100 phones. Children don't have money to buy $100 phones. I don't care what you think is on my mind. You the same people that's dumb up here with child marriage. First of all, let's get that established. Let's get that established of who you are. You're the same people that have statutory rape charges over here, child marriage over there, and don't even know about it. You're the same people. You didn't change with me. We didn't change together. We didn't become informed together, did we? No. No, we didn't become informed together. Okay? You're still ignorant, obviously. Okay? So, I go by reality, bro. Because people are playing too many psychological games, witchcraft and everything else, and psychological things. And you could say, well, anybody could get through it. Listen, bro, I'm getting through it, but listen, at the same time, though, if I didn't get through it, it's all the energy that you projected. That's all it is. In reality, bro, you have child marriage. You're marrying children, having sex with children. Okay? You can't Jedi mind trick your way out of that. It's no way. And you lose. It's a brick wall, bro. And I don't care how bad you think you are, as far as military, police, detectives, you can't run through a brick wall, sucker. A brick wall stops any man. And it's any man or any woman or any child or any animal. Okay? You can't get through no brick wall, buddy. You got child marriage laws in America since 1929. And what you gonna say about it? What you gonna say? What can you say? You know what you can't say? What anybody is doing out here with these children, and you had child marriage since 1929, man. Man, come on, stop playing, bro. Look, you can play, listen, like I said, you can play with me and play with other people. Having all that history, how long you think you're gonna last with all that history in the atmosphere? Like you ain't got this going on. But you want to play with this particular person for whatever particular reason. But you got these particular laws that have child molestation in it, in essence. You got these particular laws that adults are having sex with children. But you want to play particularly with me at the same time simultaneously. How long you think God gonna let that happen, bro? You're not as pure as you thought you was. That's what you need to come to terms with. You still haven't come to terms with it, have you? You still haven't come to terms with that. You're not as pure as you thought you was. No, you're not. You're not as pure as you thought you was. No, you're not. Not with child marriage. Not with child marriage, man. No, bro. No, listen. And another thing is, you're no heroes. How are you a hero with child marriage, man? Make it make sense. Okay? Military, make it make sense. You got child marriage. You got the age of consent is 16. You want somebody having sex with your 16-year-old daughter? Busting open your 16-year-old daughter? Giving her anal? Let's talk about all of it. We adults. Sucking on your 16-year-old child's breast? Giving her anal? Huh? You want your child to go have anal with some guy? Some fully grown guy? I'm talking to the military. You would lose your mind if your 16-year-old daughter was having anal with a grown man. It's one thing if they both were children. Okay, well, you don't like it, but she got a boyfriend, and, I'm just going to make sure he in line. I'm going to give him a hard time. If I know they're having sex, I'm going to give him a hard time. And I'm going to sit down and talk to him. I'm going to sit down and talk to him about it. If he get her pregnant, you taking care of the child, hands down. You're going to have all these talks. You're going to have the bird and the bees, all that talk with both of them, right? But at the end of the day, you're not going to lose your mind. Now, if an adult is having sex with your 16-year-old daughter, this man is 30, 40, 50 years old, bro. The first thing you're going to think is, man, what he want with a 16-year-old girl? Right or wrong? That's the first thing you're going to think, man. That's the first thing a man is going to think. I wouldn't do that. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Why is he doing it? That's the first thing a real man going to say. I don't even look at none of these girls. I don't even think about them sexually. How's this man can do this? And I'm thinking the same thing with the child marriage laws that you got in 43 states, yet you're locking up somebody else for statutory rape. How can you lock, in your right conscience as a legal system, how can you lock up this man and make him go behind bars, literally, for X amount of time, but this guy over here can be with the same, even younger than what he had? Let's talk about that. He can have younger in a child marriage with the new child marriage laws in 12 states where it says no minimum age of child. He can have younger now and doesn't get locked up. So then you don't have no correct and right and wrong, and therefore we can't look to your system to judge things out here. We can't look to your community to judge things out here. Community out here can't even judge things out here. How are you gonna judge things out here when you don't even know what's going on? Listen, bro, you come on. You a joke. You don't even know what's going on. You know what I mean? You don't even know what's going on, man. That's what I'm saying. This is what happened when ignorant people play games. And it ain't a certain type of color, it's all colors. This is what happens when ignorant people play games, bro. They get caught. Listen, man, when you assume that you know everything, what do they say? When you assume what? You make an ass out of yourself. That's what you've done. And I can't help you. You can't redeem yourself. in the case that you do things where you make an ass out of yourself by assuming this or assuming that, you have to get the bag, right? You have to get the money. Ain't no grown man down here trying to have no conversation with people that make those type of mistakes. I'm not trying to have no conversation with you, bro. The only conversation is money talks and BS walks. You can keep it walking. You can keep walking by. Because I ain't trying to hear none of that. I ain't trying to hear none of your plans and everything you trying to do. I'm not no slave, so I'm not going to be your leader. I'm not going to be your president or your king. I want my bag. That's simple as that. That's how real men talk in your country, in your American country. You want me to tell you the American way? If you violate a man like this and you got statutory rape over here, this is how Americans would talk to you. Just in case you've become foreign in your mind somehow, some way. Maybe it's too much internet. Maybe it's too much phone and internet that made you foreign in your mind. Let me tell you how an American thinks. Okay? You got statutory rape. I'm talking about an American. I ain't talking about nobody else. You got statutory rape over here. Statutory rape charges. Another guy gets to take the same age of child home. Right? You don't have a legal system. You can't have this guy over here locked up. This guy has a child locked up. No, bro. Listen, you need, and an American would tell you your American community is going to put y'all all in danger running around here goofy to the facts. Running around here, like Tupac said, blind to the facts. If you blind to the facts, listen, bro, you about to put your whole country in jeopardy, man. Listen, this ain't no game, bro. You a goofy. Listen, you a Chippendale character, bro. You a rescue ranger. you a rescue ranger, bro. You a rescue ranger. Chippendale. Rescue ranger. You a rescue ranger, bro. You a rescue ranger. Man, you better sit your Chippendale rescue ranger tail down somewhere, bro. You got child marriage around, running around here, man. And you around here trying to act like you enforcing for something. You can't even look at no other man. This is how I feel. Even if I seen somebody, you can't even look at no other man doing nothing. Unless it's your child. That's how you know you're in a fallen world. I can't go out here and force nothing. How? And your country got child marriage. How am I gonna tell these people what to do? I can't do it. Because I know what's going on. I already know the whole world of America. And you think you're more relevant than me. Like I told y'all before, I don't even got to go outside to be relevant. You got to go outside to feel relevant. I don't. Because I'm an intelligent person. I'm always informing myself and educating myself. A smart person can stay in the house. A dumb person can't. The older you get, the more you stay in the house, don't you? Because you're becoming smarter. Your habits are changing. Listen. Tell these rescue rangers to beware, bro. Tell these Chippendale rescue rangers, right, that they got child marriage in their country, bro. Tell them to take off their cartoon underwear, these rescue rangers, and put on some real man underwear. Dun, 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 dun. You ain't nothing but a rescue ranger. Chippendale. When we went to war, did we find out? When we went to war, what did we find out? They're nothing but Chippendale rescue rangers. You got child marriage over here. You didn't know it, did you? That's what makes you a rescue ranger. That's what makes you Chippendale. You did not know you had child marriage in 43 states, but you out here trying to enforce stuff. That's for the streets too. Listen, you ain't no excuse. Oh, I just didn't know. Listen, I thought you were street smart. Street smart people understand their surroundings, right? It's a habit. It's a habit. It's a habit for street smart people. I gotta know what's going on. I gotta be aware of what's going on. It's in street vernacular. It's in street philosophy. It's street mentality. But yet you the street smart, wise guy out here. But yet you don't know what your surroundings hold in its entirety. See, if you elevate it to the next level with your street wisdom, then you would have knew about the other surroundings, like I have. And that's what most street smart goons do when they become intelligent. Intelligent goons start to realize all this stuff that's going on. And that's why half of them become political, because they went from their surroundings to the higher surroundings. So I guess you just a petty thug. Chip, 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 chip in Dale. Dun, 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 dun. Let's tell the truth, man. You Chippendale. You know what I'm saying? You thought I was the man child, didn't you? Tell the truth, tell the truth, tell the truth. I look kind of young, don't I? I look kind of young, and I got spunk, and I got style, and I got sauce and flavor. You thought I was a man child, didn't you? I fooled you, didn't I? Oh, I fooled you. You thought I was a man child. I ain't working either? Oh, yeah, you thought I was a man child, didn't you? See, that's the point where you put down the spades and in spades. You got that laugh like that. Hey, that's to put down the ace of spades laugh right there, buddy. Because I know how you thought. You thought for sure you had a man-child pedophile, didn't you? Didn't you? That's what you thought, didn't you? Now you see, when everything comes to this fruition, I'm with a fully grown woman. I don't care about what you think, and I don't care about them thoughts and that psychological foolish. That's what makes you more of a Chippendale Rescue Ranger. Here you up here doing mind tricks and Jedi mind tricks, and you got child marriage in 43 states. You can't beat that. Not to real men. To real men, none of you gamers can beat it. See, what a gamer thinks is, let me tell you about a gamer right quick. I'm going to say it let me tell you about a gamer. See, a gamer thinks there's always some way to win. A real man realizes, in reality, sometimes they dead. Because it ain't cause you just died. You totally contradicted your whole life and system and everything. If you live, if your heart keeps beating, you're nothing. Now you see what I'm saying? This is the codes that real men live by. When you cease to be who you are, you die. When you're no longer who you have been, you dead. When you don't play by the rules, you die. And the rules are, no one plays with the children sexually. So you die. But a gamer, a Chippendale Rescue Ranger, oh, he think he can play again. We can play again. Ding, 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 ding. He think he can play again, don't he? Ding, 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 ding. You can't play again this time, buddy. Ow. This is for all the Chippendale Rescue Rangers. You can't, listen, you go home and you play a game console, right? You can play over and over again. Not in this game, buddy. That's what I love about reality. It has a way of shutting you down. You can't play no games with this, buddy. You got child marriage. We don't care if you win or lose. See, that's the beautiful thing about reality. When it comes to a game and you messed up like you messed up, we don't. So what if you win? You still the same country with child marriage. Dun, 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 dun. You still the same country with child marriage. So do you really win? That's for all the gamers. Do you really win with child marriage? That's a yes or no question. Listen, can you answer that question? For all certified gamers that play Call of Duty, all these other games are new games I don't even know about. The Last of Us, the apocalyptic game, all these different games you play, right? The true certified gamers, right? They got an up-to-date console and 2 consoles or whatever, right? Can you you think you can still win with child marriage? You think you still winning? You think it's possible for you to win? How? That's what I love about reality. Listen, it shuts all them games down, buddy. Because ain't no way in the world, I don't care what kind of games you play, that's what made you a big boy, a big child, a man child. Dun, 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 dun. That's what made you a man child, right? See, when I was a child, I was a child. I guess that's what you thought. I guess crazy. When I was a child, I was a child. But even if you see someone not working, doesn't mean they're a man child. See, some people like me, I was a musician. So this explains why there's unemployment in my gap, and there's unemployment gaps. Make it make sense for you, right? My excuse is I am a talented musician and I only wanted to do music in my life. That's all I wanted to do. And I'm not the only one cut from that cloth. Michael Jackson never worked a day in his life, did he? Dum, 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 dum. You didn't esteem him as, before all that stuff that came out with children, you didn't esteem him as less of a man, did you? He was doing what he's talented to do. Prince is another one. Prince didn't work a day in his life either. Dum, 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 dum. Not one day did Prince work any jobs. And you had, as Americans, you had no problem with that. You thought he was the man. You thought Prince was the man. You thought Michael Jackson was the man. And they never worked a day in their life. Not one day, not any odd jobs. These days, people are not as talented. I'm just being honest. So they got to work a little bit. They were so bad at what they were doing, they didn't have to work. And see, when you get artists that are confident, going to work is losing. Talk to real musicians. Going to a job means you lost. It doesn't mean you win. And I understand the concept of, you work till you get there. I get all of that. You ain't gotta school me in life. But a musician, I gotta school you in life. A musician is still going to feel like they lost. And they rather be home working at what they could do and getting there, right? And I'm talented. Nobody cannot deny that. So that explains why I moved the way I did. Doesn't mean I was a man child at any point in time, right? You are a man child, sitting up, playing with people, playing with our community, and now you don't know how to get yourself out of it. Now you look like a Chippendale Rescue Ranger around here with cartoon underwear on. Okay? You around here like a Chippendale Rescue Ranger. And you thought me and you was the same because I wasn't employed. You heard you heard this and that about my employment. But this explains it, right? This explains it. Go talk to a musician. I'm pretty sure you can find somebody that had the same patterns of me. Going city to city, town to town, trying to do something with their music, gaps in their employment because they believe in their talent. And you can't talk them out of it. You can't tell them to go work some job. They're not going to find any interest in it. They're going to feel like they're losing. And so only musicians can relate to that. And if you're not gifted with the talent for real, I'm not talking about American Idol. I'm not talking about, no disrespect to American Idol artists. But look how many of them didn't become anything. I'm just being honest. At the beginning, Elton John, and I'm not saying I agree with his lifestyle, Elton John said himself, American Idol artists are non-entities. You know what that means? And you go, yeah, I'm quoting him. Elton John said, American Idol artists are non-entities, which means they don't even have no sense of creativity, real originality and all of that. And he may have changed his point of view now because he's seen some talented people. But my point is I'm not one of those guys. I'm not some American Idol. I have the real full makeup of an artist as a real musician. You know what I'm saying? And that was what I was supposed to do with my life. But at the end of the day, I'm a spiritual man too. So, and I was supposed to do that. I preach. That's what I'm supposed to do. Those are two vocations outside of working. Now you can see why I've been confused. Not God didn't confuse me. Why I have been confused as a human between trying to be a musician, me ministering, and not saying necessarily I was going to go into ministry, but seeking the Lord so much, you might as well say I'm in. You. That's all I want to do. You might as well say I'm in ministry. You might as well say it, and that would bring a certain confusion to a human being. Okay, you're seeking the Lord all the time. You ain't thinking about employment. You think about the next time you go seek the Lord, and you just in that. And that person's supposed to be in ministry. That person's supposed to be in full-time ministry. So in all essence, man, sometimes people lack direction because of the geographics. They're just in the wrong city. I come from North Carolina. You know, I can explain all my stuff. Because if the talent that I had, if I had lived in a bigger city, if I was born in a bigger city, I probably wouldn't even be having this conversation with you right now. Okay? The fact that I was born, I'm not saying God makes mistakes. But North Carolina, what have you seen come out of it? Let's keep it a buck. What have you seen come out of North Carolina that really claimed it hard? That like really claimed it. Jodeci, okay, Jodeci. But Jodeci didn't really claim Charlotte though. I never heard a Charlotte song from Jodeci. Have you? Maybe a B-side Charlotte song. I never heard no Charlotte song hit. And some people for Charlotte feel some type of way about that. But you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Jodeci came from Charlotte. Okay, the baby, look how he messed everything up. This is what I'm showing you. He came from Charlotte, but look how he messed everything up. Getting on stage, talk about gay people. You a straight man. Why is you on stage high thinking about what gay people doing? That right there, I don't understand. That's some Charlotte stuff right there. That's all I can say, man. Like that's all I can say, man. And this is not being funny, but when I went to another level, man, it's just a certain mentality, man, that I can't deal with that comes from Charlotte, man. And you can make money, you can ride around in cars, but you still can have a fuckboy mentality, man. You know what I'm saying? Having money don't take you away from being a fuckboy. A fuckboy gonna do stupid stuff with money. You know what I'm saying? That's just like watch what people do with their money, and that's how you know. Watch what people do with their money. Because a fuckboy can have money. Suckers can have money. Lames can have money. See, certain women don't know that. Lame dudes can have money. They can grow up with a wealthy family. They can grow up in money. Right? But they suckers. And that's why she wind up going for the dude that don't have that much money, but he's original. He's a real person. He's real. He's an original, unique human being that she has encountered. You know what I'm saying? That's priceless. And that's why it always happens. Look at the Titanic with Rose and Jack. She had to do with all the money, all the stature, but Rose fell for the guy, Jack, that didn't really have that much. He couldn't technically even get on the boat. He couldn't even technically get on the boat. That's the guy she fell for. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know what kind of woman you got. What kind of guy she going with. Oh, see, you look for money. Okay? A woman looks for character, integrity, and you might not be perfect. You know what I'm saying? You're not. Women are not perfect. Men are not perfect, right? But it's something in that man. You know what I'm saying? Suckers, especially white people, that's all they go by is money. Man, come on. You don't know nothing about the funk. You don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? Funk, you can't buy the funk. You know what I'm saying? That's something that the white tribe, no disrespect to white people, but you got white rappers, you got Eminem, you got Even with singers, you got Michael McDonald, but you have not really seen a white man or white woman master the funk. Funk is what belongs to black people. That's a little off subject, but and that's not racist. I'm just specific. That's just the truth. And when somebody got the funk, they can be spiritual, they can be whatever. The funk is just something you got that you can't buy. You can't buy the funk, man. You know what I'm saying? And once a woman knows a man got the funk, man, listen, vice versa. Money don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's for all my enemies that try to make me look pathetic in my situation. Listen, man, as long as I got the funk, man, listen, I'm going to survive. I'm going to do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? I got that apocalyptic. I got that Armageddon funk, too, for you. Yeah. Yeah, put you right in Armageddon, baby. Got that Armageddon funk going on. For all you rescue rangers. That's all you causing this to be, a catalyst for Armageddon. That's all you causing this to be, man. Because everybody got free will. Just like E40 said, everybody got choices. You know what I'm saying? You got choices every day you wake up. And every day you wake up to play with me, listen, bro, that Armageddon funk is coming. That Armageddon funk is coming, big baby. That's what it is.